At this moment, I want you to prepare your eyes to see the future.
So here today talking about not the first, but one of the first all Firethreads traditional head or traditional pockets. This is in the true frequency, kind of one of the first official versions of it. But goal of this project here was to see if we could make a pocket with all Firethreads material. So we've got these sort of prototype runners. This is sort of a Kevlar type material, so really has no stretch to it. It's got the grip print on either side, using all Firethreads cross lace all the way throughout. Firethread shooters, shooting cords, nylons, all throughout. There's two parts to string a traditional. One is sort of getting everything in there and using what materials you have, helping that sort of dictate the techniques you use. The other part of it is who you're stringing it for. In this case, this is for Lauren Smith, and he's very detailed in what he likes and what he wants in a pocket. He's been playing obviously for a long time, always traditional. So he's got a good understanding of what he likes and what he doesn't. Starting from the top, he knew that he wanted his leathers or runners anchored directly to the plastic. Being that the string is so much thicker, you know, we'd see this with somebody else who had strung up a prototype for him, this sort of technique. I'm not sure if it's the exact same, but this idea of using sort of top string knots, that way we don't have these knots sort of right under the scoop, like you would if you were to barrel them like with a girl stick or something like that, that you're using these heavy knots. A lot. The grip print holds everything in place, so you don't need to worry about losing tension back into the knots here. And it all comes out of this really big top hole on the true head, which you probably wouldn't use for mesh or anything like that, but actually was very convenient in tying off the top string here. You can see I just routed the middle right under the knot there to kind of further pin it and keep things from. The second really kind of specific thing that Lauren likes in his pockets is he really likes the middle runners or leathers to be really close together, so almost like a pita pocket in that sense, but still have that sort of asymmetric feel to it. I actually string this middle part first. So I cut all the strings I need. I need 3 total, kind of one at each of these pillars, and then one for the far edge. So yeah, normally I'd start on one side, so kind of doing this string here, it kind of ends at the bottom, and then there's 3 strings in total that run down, forming the cross lace. And so you've got one that's sort of split at this top diamond here, the second which is split at the diamond here, and the third which just comprises one sort of column between the runner and the outside of the head. So in order to really concentrate and make sure that these 2 runners are close together, I'll actually split the string through the top of the knot here and just sort of string this middle runner all the way down. Another sort of specific is Lauren knows he wants 6 diamonds in his pocket. And so that's sort of another consideration when kind of first putting that in. Upon that, I add the other outside and then the sort of right outside by splitting this. And so at that point, I'll have the middle done, and then I'll have the 2 outer columns done here. And that way I can sort of gauge, and that's where a lot of the pocket's going on. So sort of work on my spacing and tensioning there. And then from there, it's sort of the home stretch and putting in these outer columns here that attach to the sidewall. And then at each sidewall interaction, I like to make sure that those knots are sort of pinned between 2 knots so that they can't shift. That little detail, along with all the grip print in place, really allows for traditional. That's really unique in that nothing really shifts or moves around the pocket unless you intend it to. So I'm able to lock these interlocks like right in between these grip print dots. And you get as far detailed as sort of counting the dots and to help with spacing, which I used a little bit of. It's not absolutely straightforward, but it did help in certainly aligning things and making sure that things came out symmetrically. I ended up using a bottom string here, just because the holes on the head were a little narrow compared to kind of the gauge of this big thick string, especially when you got the grip print. It's really tough to kind of get the strings in there and get them out. So again, just improvising, given with what we have here. Still able to get some clean tie-offs with not a lot of excess strings or anything like that, and it'll be really easy to adjust in the future if need be.
I want you to prepare your eyes.
Takes at least one good shooting session.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I played a little couch ball with this one, and felt pretty good.
Yeah.